Rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Students, today we are going to begin a lecture on the book The Siyasatnama. Well, to begin with, let me talk about the book that has been given to us, the syllabus of this semester. Actually, we have not been given the full book. We have been given the chapters 6 and 7 as a part of our syllabus, with which we will be dealing separately and in detail about those two chapters. Today's lecture, we are going to be just discussing the beginning or the opening, you may call it the introduction of the Siyasatnama. In between, I'll be using certain terms in Urdu as well as English so that we can understand and we can talk over the book, and we can also keep this in reference so that when we are using our knowledge or our writing the papers and all, we are using it for our webinar, and we will be using the entire detail of the introduction of the Siyasatnama. Book of Kings, or the Book of Political Science as it is normally called, the Siyasatnama, is famous, and the name itself tells us what it is. Basically siyasat यानी कि politics, and politics के बारे में यानी नामा or detail of the politics that we are going to discuss. This book has been written almost 1,000 years now. In fact, the writer of the book was born on 10th April 1018, almost 1,002 years ago, and his name is Nizam-Ul-Mulk. Nizam-Ul-Mulk Tusi, as he is famously called, was a famous wazir of the Seljuk Empire, and especially Shah Malik, who was the main king. Like we have in the Mughal dynasty, we have Emperor Akbar. He was the main, Malik Shah was the main king of the Seljuk Empire, which was an Iranian empire, which was ruling almost half of the modern world, which was at that time the known world. His name, the writer's name, Nizam-Ul-Mulk Tusi, his actual name was Abu Ali, was his kunyat. His name was Hassan bin Ali, and he was from the village of Tus in the region of Khorasan, Iran. Born on the 10th April 1018, as I had told you, is one of the most famous figures of the Islamic world. In fact, he is the first person who became a PM or the Prime Minister and held the seat of power as a Prime Minister. Means he was managing the Nizamat of the Mulk. The country is running from a point of view of a Prime Minister. Now, nowadays, how we have our system in the political system, the biggest person, the biggest post is the President, but everything has been managed by the Prime Minister. So he made this post, he made the Shura, he made the system, and there is a lot of contributions by this person, Nizam-Ul-Mulk. And one of the biggest thing that we should also know at the moment is that he is the first person who was assassinated by the Hashashins, who were people who were used to kill the political bigwigs or the political famous persons in those times, or because of certain internal fights and internal disputes. But here we are not going to discuss about the end of his life or the main portion of his life which he has passed with along with the kings, but the elements that made him the person that he is and the character that made him the person that he is. Nizam-Ul-Mulk Tusi, as he is famously known as, was a person of great repute. He was friendly with the biggest of the scholars of his times. In fact, it is also said that Umar-e-Khayyam, the famous scholar, writer, poet, who was also a student, Imam Ghazali was one of his students, or later on came to his school of Nizamiya. He is a person who started the concept of Nizamiya, the Islamic school of teaching, and the entire madrasa system even today is based on the system founded by Nizam-Ul-Mulk. And Nizam-Ul-Mulk is one person who can be single-handedly called as the father of modernizing the Islamic education. It was almost 500-600 years that Islam was there, and then they were having certain old thoughts. But with his interventions, he introduced certain new patterns, where he introduced the Greek pattern, learning from the Greek books, learning from the Christian books, learning from the books of Bani Israel, and making the Muslims scientists and people who are doing research on medical more famous. Though the period of Abu Ali Sina and the other big scholars of Islam had just gone before them, or they were at that same time, it was a golden period in terms of scholars being allowed to practice their thought. It was this wisdom and knowledge of Nizam-Ul-Mulk Tusi that forced the people, the intellectuals of those times, to select him as the main person behind writing the constitution for the kings and the rulers. as normally this book of his is also known as the book of the kings, the book which all kings must read and understand, okay, how their subjects should be, how their royals should be, how their elite should be, and how their soldiers should behave. The book that he wrote was to be used as a constitution by the forces of the empire at that time. The Seljuk Emperor was very much confused in how to manage the multiple religions and multiple cultures of the various societies who had converted to Islam. Now, to maintain them, they needed a code of conduct which was reflecting the knowledge of the old, the past, the wisdom of the Prophet, and the laws and divinity of Islam. Thus, he was to appoint a person who would write with all these criterias and also make the book or his knowledge appear to be of great wisdom and great source to the people of the times. Thus started the process of writing this book. The book Siyasatnama, which we are going to discuss in thorough detail, especially the chapter number 6 and 7. Yes, that will be detailedly studied by us as students of MA Persian in Mumbai University. Now we will talk about the entire book. The entire book is consistent of 50 chapters. Of the 50 chapters, the first 39 chapters are the part 1, which deals with the ethics and moralities of the people, of the various qazis, of the various lawyers, of the landholders, of the soldiers. And the last 11 chapters deals with basically the subjects, the uprisings, the dealing with the general public and crowd, which is actually a part of a person's study or research after he has become or acquired a post in the government. But to acquire the post in the government, one must understand the ethics, the moralities, the discipline that is required for one to become a person who is capable of ruling. Like a person who has to be kept, which person, which group has to be kept in their circle, which circle has to be maintained in a particular manner. If a person has to be punished, what are the laws to be followed? Thus starts our journey into the subject of the understanding of the Siyasatnama as a book of moral ethics. Well, here I would like to bring to your notice that the Siyasatnama and its modern relevance is also the topic for my PhD thesis, which I am doing under the guidance of our head of the department, Madam Dr.Sakina Khan, who is helping me out with the entire work of research on the subject. Well, to begin with, when we discuss the ethics and the modern relevance of this great book or the epic which the Siyasatnama is, we are going to discuss specially the chapters number 6 and 7, as I had told you, which actually deal with bringing out the best from the person who are judges, preachers, and inspectors or weight measurers who form a major part of the society. It is also a chapter number 7 which deals with the appointment of tax collectors, judges, police preferences, the police officers, the mayors, who have to be kept in check also. If the department appoints them, they have to be checked. Like what we are going to discuss specially is people who are going to be appointed for especially high posts and high jobs by the government of the times. In fact, they were appointed with certain criterias then and they are appointed with certain criterias now. But we have to choose them as per the times and needs. Thus starts our journey when we deal with chapter number 6 concerning the judges and preachers and the inspectors of weights or the measurements that they take, and the chapter number 7 which deals with the information about the conduct of the tax collectors, judges, and the perfects of officers of police, mayors, and keeping them in check and understanding what all are the needs of the people from them and what are the laws and liberties to be given to the masses as well as the powers to these officers. Thus, we will be dealing with all these subjects in the coming lectures, for which we will be giving you a lecture on the various aspects and the topics accordingly.
به نام خدای بخشنده مهربان. سیاستنامه اثر خواجه نظام الملک طوسی. معرفی نامه. ابو علی حسن ابن علی ابن اسحاق طوسی که همگان او را با نام خواجه نظام الملک طوسی می شناسند، در تاریخ 28 مهر 397 در شهر توست چشم به جهان گشود و در تاریخ 22 ماه مهر 471 در نبرد کرمانشاه به دست یک باطنی کشته شد. خواجه نظام الملک در حدود 29 سال و 7 ماه و کسری وزارت در زیر دست آلپارسلان و ملکشاه در اداره امور و فتح بلاد و سرکوبی مخالفان این دو پادشاه چنان کفایت و حسن تدبیر به خرج داد که دولتی وسیع از حلب تا کاشغر، یکی از شهرهای نزدیک چین امروزی، را تحت امر ایشان آورد و نام و نشان آن دو سلطان را در غرب و شرق عالم معلوم آن زمان جاری کرد. خواجه نظام الملک طوسی علاوه بر خدمات بیشمار 2 کتاب بسیار نفیس به نامهای سیرالملوک یا همان سیاستنامه و دیگری دستورالوزراء را به رشته تحریر درآورده که از کتاب دوم اثری از آن باقی نمانده است. به غیر از این 2 اثر نفیس، نوشته کوتاه دیگری نیز از وی برجا مانده است که عبارت از وصیت‌نامه وی می باشد. سیرالملوک سیاستنامه اندرزنامه‌ای است که به قلم خود خواجه، این وزیر با لیاقت دربار پادشاهان سلجوقی، نوشته شده است. این کتاب در 50 فصل تدوین گردیده است و از متون کم نظیر فارسی به شمار می رود و اگر چنانچه نظیری داشته باشد می توان به کتاب تاریخ اثر بیهقی و قابوسنامه عنصرالمالی اشاره کرد. این هر 3 اثر به قرن 5 تعلق دارند. قرن 5 عصری است که نثر فارسی بر پایه دانش و خرد بنیاد می گرفت و در این اصل لفظ برابر به برای معنی بود و زبان زلال و پیرایه کمال فروغ را می گذراند. فصل 6 کتاب سیاستنامه، اثر خواجه نظام الملک طوسی، صفحه 48. عنوان: اندر قاضیان و خطیبان و محاسبه و رونق کار ایشان. باید که احوال قاضیان مملکت یگان یگان بدانند و هر که از ایشان عالم و زاهد و کوتاه دست‌تر و کم طمع‌تر باشد او را تربیت کنند و بدان کار نگاه دارند و هر که نه چنین بود او را معزول کنند و دیگری را که شایسته باشد بنشانند و هر یکی را از ایشان به اندازه کفاف مشاهرت اطلاق کنند تا او را به خیانتی حاجت نیفتد که این کار مهم و نازک است، از بهر این که ایشان بر خونها و مالهای مسلمانان مسلطند. نشاید این شغل به جاهل و ناپاک دادن، الا تفییض این کار به عالم با ورع. و چون حاکمی به جهل و طمع یا به قصد امضا حکمی کند و سجلی دهد، بر حاکمان دیگر لازم شود آن حکم بد را معلوم پادشاه گردانیدن و آن کس را معزول کردن و مالش دادن. و گماشتگان باید که دست قاضی قوی دارند و رونق کار او نگاه دارند و اگر کسی تعذری کند و به حکم حاضر نشود و اگر محتشم بود او را به عنف و کره حاضر کنند که قضا به روزگار خود یاران پیغمبر علیه الصلوات و السلام به تن خویش کرده اند و هیچ کس دیگر را نفرمودند، از بهر آن تا جز راستی نرود و هیچ کس پای از حکم باز نتواند کشید و به همه روزگار از گاه آدم علیه السلام تا اکنون در همه ملت و در همه ملکی عدل ورزیده اند و انصاف داده اند و به راستی کوشیده اند تا مملکت ایشان سالهای بسیار بمانده است.
In this portion, we start with the presentation of the chapter number 6 of the Siyasatnama of Khwaja Nizam-Ul-Mulk Tusi. The chapter number 6 deals with the concerns of the judges, the behavior of those preachers and the people responsible for making important judgments, taking the measurements, using the various market surveys and reporting to the kings. As we all know that we have already read the Persian part and we have the basic text of this matter, but we'll try to explain in the brief introduction that he starts is that what he wants to say. He wants to tell us that every judge has to be maintained and his entire data has to be there with the department or the governing authorities. Then there is also the impact of the behavior of these people on the society as a whole. Here he also discusses about the salaries that should be paid. He wants them to be very, very in level at par with the highest paid intellectuals of the country, so that the judges are not tempted to take any bribes and dishonesty doesn't prevail in the society. Here he also tells us about the matter in which the various aspects of the society has to be handled, because these people are very important people. See, when somebody is appointed as a judge, he is at par to give judgments in the life and the various aspects of life of any individual, thus making a great impact on the society as a whole. Thus these judges should be given orders and should be giving orders also as per the norms set by the society, and thus be well paid and well fed and well kept off. And the king should also understand that if some judge is doing anything wrong, here he discusses first the authority of the king, who gives the power to make the judges, or who has the power to make the judges. Then he talks of the judges who are at par and the equal people. If they find somebody amongst them who is not doing something proper, he is supposed to report the things. And then he talks of the officers who are under them. They should take a note and make a proper appearance and always report the matters. They should not have any excuses to not report any matter to the senior judges. Here he also discusses about the companions of the Prophet. He tells us that when we had the Khalifa Rashida, the people, the Khalifas or the people in charge used to take the decisions themselves. For it is embedded, what according to Khwaja Sahib, it is embedded in the human mind that we long for justice. He gives an example that right from the birth of Adam, it is embedded in the society, embedded in the human mind, in the DNA of the human being, that he wants and longs for righteousness. And that is what basically makes him a better person. And thus he wants the judges and the selection of the judges to be in a matter where they are selected as the best people from the society. And this behavior of the human beings has continued for generations and generations, thus making the human Ashraful Makhluqat and worthy of praise, because he is the person who wants to give law and who wants to establish the government of a dignified type. That is what the main aim behind this chapter is. Now we will be going through the various hikayats through which Nizam-Ul-Mulk tells us by the various stories that how these various incidents or various aspects of happenings in the lives of the kings have inspired or made and allowed the human mind to develop a research or a judgment that has to be made. So we will be starting with the hikayats after this. Thank you so much.
فصل ششم کتاب سیاستنامه، اثر خواجه نظام الملک طوسی. حکایت اول، صفحه 49. چنین گویند که رسم ملوک عجم چنان بوده است که روز مهرجان و نوروز پادشاه مر عامه را بار دادی و کس را بازداشت نبودی و پیش به چند روز منادی فرموندندی بسازید مر فلان روز را، تا هر کس شغل خیش بساختی و قصه خیش بنوشتی و حجت خیش به دست آوردی و چون آن روز بودی منادیگر ملک بیرون در بازار ایستادی و بانگ کردی که اگر کسی مر کسی را باز دارد از حاجت برداشتن، در این روز ملک از خون وی بیزار است. پس ملک قصه مردمان بسدی و همه پیش بنهادی و یک یک نگریدی. اگر در آنجا قصه ای بود که از ملک نالیده بودی، ملک برخاستی و از تخت به زیر آمدی و پیش موبد موبدان که قاضی القضات به زبان ایشان باشد به داوری به 2 زانو بنشستی و گفتی نخست از همه داوری ها داد این مرد از من بده و هیچ میل و محابا مکن. آنگاه منادیگر ملک بان کردی که هر که را با ملک خصومتی هست همه به یک سو بنشینند تا نخست کار شما بگذارد. پس ملک موبد موبدان را گفتی هیچ گناهی نیست نزدیک خدای تعالی بزرگتر از گناه پادشاهان و حق گزاردن ایشان نعمت ایزد تعالی نگاه داشتن رعیت است و داد ایشان دادن و دست ستمکاران از ایشان کوتاه کردن. پس چون شاه بیدادگر باشد لشکر همه بیدادگر شوند و خدای را فراموش کنند و کفران نعمت آرند و هر آینه خذلان و خشم خدای در ایشان رسد و بس روزگار بر نیاید که جهان ویران شود و ایشان به سبب شومی گناهان همه کشته شوند و ملک از آن خانه تحویل کند. ای موبد خدای شناس، نگر تا مرا برخیشتن نگزینی، زیرا که هر چند خدای تعالی از من طلب کند من از تو پرسم و اندر گردن تو کنم. پس موبد بنگرستی. اگر در میان ملک و میان خصم وی حق درست شدی داد آن کس بدادی و اگر کسی بر ملک دعوای باطل کردی و حجت نداشتی او را عقوبتی بزرگ فرمودی و گفتی که این سزای کسی است که بر ملک و مملکت وی عیب جوید و این دلیری کند. چون ملک از داوری برداختی باز بر تخت برآمدی و تاج بر سر نهادی و روی سوی بزرگان و کسان خود کردی و گفتی من آغاز از خویشتن بدان کردم تا شما را طمع بریده شود از ستم کردن بر کسی. اکنون هر که از شما خصمی دارد خشنود کند. هر که بوی نزدیکتر بودی آن روز دورتر بودی و هر که قویتر ضعیفتر.
The first hikayat of this chapter begins with the incident of non-Arab kings. In fact, the kings of earlier Persia, who were actually in his term, when he speaks of kings of earlier Persia, he means kings who were there in Persia and Persian emperors who were there before the coming of Islam to this region. Now, they had 2 important festivals. Actually, both the festivals have a similar meaning, as they are winter and the summer equinoxes, which are termed at Miraj and Nowruz. Nowruz is more commonly celebrated and is known as the main festival of the Iranian people. Now, in these festivals, what happens is that it is equinox. Equinox means the day and night both are of the equal timing, and they are having equal time 2 times a year. This comes, and the people used to wait for this day. The incident that he narrates is that people were asked to wait for the people to get to the king and complain about whomsoever they want. In fact, the law was that if anybody was stopping you from approaching the king for law, he would be killed by the king, or rather there would be no blame on the king even if he kills somebody who is stopping somebody from getting to the law or the people giving the law. Now, this also had one more important aspect. The king himself was there to hear, and if anybody comes and complains against the king, means the complaint is against the emperor or the king himself, he used to kneel in supplication and he used to ask for forgiveness in the main, which is the chief justice, or in their language means the chief giver of law, that is their Lord and God. And he would say that if anything wrong has been done, the king should be the first person to get justice and give justice and be punished for whatever the crime he has done. Means this created an impact where none of the people could think that they are above the law. In fact, the people were asked to sit separately if they had complaints against the management, the king. And when they talked about the complaint or any grievances against the king, it means kingsmen also. Thus they were asked to sit separately and tell us what has happened, or tell the committee what is there, and accordingly they can be judged, and a perfect justice can be done. This is what made them great kings and emperors, and the name of these people is taken even after so many years of their death, because they were great givers of law. This is in continuation with the previous hikayat. When we talk of the giver of the law, the king, the pre-Islamic king over there, and now he would return, the king would come in front of the Mabud or his Mubad, whatever his worshipping was done, and he would say, then whatever the punishments are to be given, or the blames are to be put on him, then he would stand up in front of the audience and say, there is no greater sin than the sin of the king, because if a king sins, the entire nation sins, and that is what happens. And thus he would say that a king can only be justified or do justice to his subjects by being grateful to God. And how can he be grateful to God? He can be grateful to God only when he gives justice and free rule to his people, his subjects, and there is no oppression by the king. In fact, when the king becomes tyrant, the entire followers, like they have a saying in Marathi, Jasa Raja Tasi Praja. When a person has a particular type of a king, that type of behavior would be adopted by the masses. And if the king is cruel, tyrant, the masses will also become that type of tyrants, and they will start oppressing the weaker sections. Here he also brings out a belief in the system that was there, that if a king is a tyrant or king is not behaving well with his subjects, the kingship or the rulership of those people is transferred into another house. Means the king's children or the king's family loses the power to rule, and this is the biggest curse they would believe, which would make them common men and from the common people, and another family from amongst the deprived or the underprivileged would rise and start their kingdom. As in the word of the kings, which Nizam-Ul-Mulk has put, that the king would pray and say, O Lord, put me into the best position as per your needs. Whatever the laws, whatever the behavior you want from me, let me have that, so that I can be a good king and be a fair judge of the society, thus winning over the people and ruling them with justice, and not only ruling them physically but also in their heart and soul. When the king had finished with all his disputes, he would return and understand whatever has been done. But in all this process, he would remove his crown, and then he would not be on his throne also, so that he is behaved, treated, and at par with the common people. When he has done all that, he would come and get back to his throne, sit and just say that now that he has done the justice, or whenever the proceedings have happened, there should be none who are oppressed by any of his men or any of his thoughts or any of his behaviors. And then the king would say that today is a day when those who were nearest to the king are furthest away from me. Means there is nothing like being near to the king except being near to the law. If you have done something against the law, you will be punished. That is what made these kings very famous and liked by their masses, and forced the historians and the coming generations to follow their principles in establishing the rule of the law.
فصل ششم کتاب سیاستنامه، اثر نظام الملک طوسی. حکایت دوم، صفحه 50. عمار ابن حمزه اندر مجلس خلیفه واسق نشسته بود روز مظالم. مردی خواست که ستم رسیده بود و از عماره تظلم کرد که زیت من به غضب گرفته است. امیرالمؤمنین عماره را گفت برخیز و برابر خصم بنشین و حجت بگوی. عماره گفت من خصم وی نیم و اگر زیت این مرد مراست من به وی دادم. و من بر نخیزم از آنجا که خلیفه مرا گرامی داشته است و نشانده و من جاه و مرتبت خیش به ضیعتی به زیان نتوانم آورد و همه بزرگان را خوش آمد از بلند همتی وی. و بباید دانستن که قضا پادشاه را می باید کردن به تن خیش و سخنان خصمان شنیدن. چون پادشاه ترک باشد یا تازیک یا کسی که تازی نداند و احکام شریعت نخوانده باشد، لابد او را به نایبی حاجت آید تا شغل میراند به نیابت او، و این قاضیان همه نایبان پادشاهند و بر پادشاه واجب است که دست قضات قوی دارد و حرمت و منزلت ایشان باید که به کمال باشد، از بهر آن که ایشان نایبان خلیفه اند و شعار او دارند و خلیفه و گماشته پادشاهند و شغل او می کنند. و همچنین خطیبان را که اندر مسجدهای جامع نماز می گذارند اختیار کند تا مردمانی پارسا و قرآندان باشند که کار نماز نازک است و نماز مسلمانان بدان امام تعلق دارد و چون نماز امام با خلل بود، نماز آن قوم با خلل باشد. و همچنین به هر شهری محتسبی باید گماشتن تا ترازوها و نرخها راست دارد و خرید و فروختها نگه می دارد تا اندر آن راستی رود و در همه چیزها که از اطراف آرند و در بازارها فروشند احتیاط تمام کنند تا غشی و خیانتی نکنند و سنگها راست دارند و امر معروف و نهی منکر به جای آرند. و پادشاه و گماشتگان پادشاه باید که دست او قوی دارند که یکی از قاعده مملکت و نتیجه عقل این است که اگر جز این کند درویشان در رنج افتند و مردم بازارها چنان که خواهند خرند و چنان که خواهند فروشند به فضل خار مستولی شود و فسق آشکار شود و کار شریعت بیرونق و نظام شود. و همیشه این کار را به یکی از خواص فرمودندی، یا خادمی را یا ترکی پیر را که هیچ محابا نکردی و خاص و عام از او بترسندی و همه کارها بر انصاف بودی و قواعد اسلام محکم بودی، چنان که اندر حکایت آمده است.
As we are discussing the chapter number 6 of the Siyasatnama of Khaja Nizam-Ul-Mulk Tusi, we reach the portion where he discusses about Umrah bin Hamza. This Umrah bin Hamza was a wazir of the Caliph Abu Dawaniki, and once he was sitting in his company when a man came with a grievance in front of the Caliph, and the Caliph, who was termed as the main commander of the faithful in those times, ordered Umrah to rise from his position and stand in the box for the guilty so that the man could punish him. So the Umrah asked him, the man, what was his grievance? He said that this person has come with a grievance that you have taken away a farm from him, confiscated his property. Umrah, without even getting up from his seat, said that I gave the farm to this man, for if it is mine, I gift it to him, and if it was his, I don't want it. This surprised everybody in the company. They said, what is this? Why aren't you standing? He says, no, I would not leave the place, the high position that the king has given me, and whatever position the Caliph has given me is more important to me than this man's claim. This shows us the type of reputation, the type of faith the person who are appointed by the Caliph should have in the authority. Here, the writer also talks about the king being from another faith or another language speaking, and he doesn't know the language of the Muslims, the Arabic in which the laws are written. Many a times the king can be a Turkish or a Persian person. So what happens is the persons close to the king, the ones who are explaining the laws, explaining the case to the king, should be well versed with the language of the person who's putting the claim, as well as of the king, as well as well versed with the law, so that they can put up the case rightly. Many a times what happens in the translation, the case is lost. Here he also points out that the translator should not be biased or not appear to be so close to the king that the meaning would change if whatever they are saying they want to change it as per the requirement. The actual essence or actual meaning of whatever the person wants to say is to be conveyed directly. Thus, the who are acting as interpreters to the king should also be well versed with the language, and not only the language but also the basic feelings of the person, which should be conveyed to the king, so that the right judgment and the right justice can be delivered. Thus, he prompts the king to appoint the right and qualified people for the post. Then he discusses the position of the people who are leading the prayers. This is the prayers which are to be read in the public, especially the khutbahs, and are should be read by people who are appointed by the king. On the selection of these people should be on the criteria of their piety, of their piousness, of their knowledge of the book, of the knowledge of the Quran, because the entire amal of the person of any society depends on the person who leads that amal. If the amal of the main qazi or the main imam are gone, then the amal of the entire society is ruined. Thus, he wants the king to appoint very, very righteous and pious persons who are to be appointed as the qazis or the leader of the prayers and the imams of the mosques. In the near portion of this, the later portion, he discusses about the people who are appointed as the gumastagans, as the people who are in charge of the gumas. Even we have the shops, when we have shop and establishment, it is termed as gumaste in the Marathi language. If people do understand what it is, actually it is the inspectors of the measurement. The inspectors of the measurements are instructed to be very particular about the pricing, the scales, the measures of every aspect which is there in the city, as well as what is brought from outside, like the imports and the exports also should be taken care should be taken to have proper measures, because according to Nizam-Ul-Mulk Tusi, the measurements, the scale is the basics of justice. If justice is not there in the bazaar, where will it be there in the courts? Thus, he wants to tell us that even the shortest of the transactions, buying, selling, should be in a manner where the poor are not neglected and nobody has suffered. Thus, everyday affairs would improve and making a country a better place to live in, and the business and transactions with justice and the precepts of Islam would make the love for the caliph and the king greater in the eyes of the people. Thank you.
فصل ششم کتاب سیاستنامه، اثر خواجه نظام الملک طوسی. حکایت سوم، صفحه 52. گویند سلطان محمود همه شب با خواستگیان و ندیمان شراب خورده بود و سپوح گرفته. علی نوشتگین و محمد عربی که سپه سالاران محمود بودند در این مجلس حاضر بودند و همه شب شراب خوردند تا دم صبح بیدار بودند. چون روز به چاشت رسید، علی نوشتگین سرگردان گشت و رنج بیداری و افراط شراب در او اثر کرد. دستوری خواست تا به خانه خویش رود. محمود گفت صواب نیز روز روشن بدین حال بروی، همینجا بیاسای تا نماز دیگر و آنگاه به هوشیاری بروی که اگر تو را بدین حال محتسب ببیند حد بزند و آبروی تو برود و دل من رنجور گردد و هیچ نتوانم گفتن. علی نوشتگین سپاه سالار 50,000 مرد بود و شجاع و مبارز وقت و او را با 1000 مرد برابر نهاده بودند و در وهم او نگذشت که محتسم این معنی اندیشد. ستوهی و ستهنگی کرد و گفت البته بروم. محمود گفت تو بهتر میدانی، یله کنید تا برود. علی نوشتگین برنشست با انبوهی عظیم از خیل و غلامان و چاکران و روی به خانه خویش نهاد. محتسم او را بدید با 100 مرد سوار و پیاده. علی نوشتگین را چنان مست بدید بفرمود تا از اسب فرو کشیدند و خود از اسب فرود آمد و به دست خویش بزد بی محابا. چنان که زمین را به دندان گرفت و حاشیت و لشکرش می نگریستند. هیچ کس زهره آن نداشت که زبان بجنباند و آن محتشم خادمی ترک بود. پیرو محتشم به حقهای خدمت داشت. چون برفت علی نوشتگین را به خانه بردند و همه را می گفت هر که فرمان سلطان نبرد حال او همچون حال من باشد. روز دیگر علی نوشتگین پشت برهنه کرد، به محمود نمود، شاخ شاخ گشته بود. محمود بخندید و گفت توبه کن تا هرگز مست از خانه بیرون نروی. چو ترتیب ملک و قواعد سیاست محکم نهاده بود، کار عهد بر این جمله می رفت که یاد کرده باشد.
Hikayat number 3 of the chapter number 6 of the Siyasatnama by Nizam-Ul-Mulk Tusi. The Hikayat is based on the story of Ali Nastagin. This Ali Nastagin was one of the commanders and generals of Sultan Mahmud of Ghaznavi, as he is commonly known as. One day this Ali Nastagin and another commander along with him, who is termed or mentioned as Muhammad Arbi, and these were generals of the Mahmud's army, and they were very big people. In fact, later on we come to know that he was commanding a force of 50,000 people. But sitting down with the king and having wine, and the Ali Nastagin asked permission from the Sultan to go home, and the Sultan said that it is not fitting for you to go out in the night, as you will be caught drunk, and the guards who will catch you are appointed, or such guards, as the writer has earlier said, that guards should be appointed who would obey the law, are there who will obey the law and give you the punishment of 50 lashes. Now the commander was very, very upset. He said, how is it possible? I am such a big commander, I'll go. Sultan said, try your luck and you know what will happen. And ultimately he walked away, and he wishes the best and says, now I am in the pride of being a very big commander and a very powerful person. He walked out, and he chanced to be caught in the middle of the bazaar. When he was caught, he made his claim, I am a general, and he was asked to dismount. He was given the strokes and ultimately landed up home. And this person who was selected was a Turkish eunuch, and he was an old man who hardly cared for anybody. He would just punish anybody and obey the Sultan's law. He said, if you don't obey the Sultan's law, you'll be punished. That's it. And the next day when he came back, Mahmud just laughed and said, you saw how I have selected the people, and my people are there who are to bring discipline and justice, and that is how the administration can be maintained. It cannot be maintained with partiality towards, and telling us that if you have to maintain law and order in the country, you have to have inspectors or people who are giving the punishments to be very, very honest and obedient towards the law. Not that they get attracted by any post or any power and say, "Nahi, now we will not punish this person since he is close to the Sultan or he is a big general." Nahi, the law is same for everybody, and anybody who disobeys the law will be punished. That is what the basic essence of the law and the rule of the law is. Thank you.
فصل ششم کتاب سیاستنامه اثر خواجه نظام الملک طوسی. حکایت چهارم، صفحه 53. و هم شنیدم که در غزنین خبازان در دکانها بستند و نان نایافت شد و غربا و درویشان در رنج افتادند و به تظلم به درگاه شدند و پیش سلطان ابراهیم بنالیدند. فرمود تا همه را حاضر کردند. گفت چرا نان تنگ کردید؟ گفتند هر باری گندم و آرد که در این شهر می آرند نانوایان تو می خرند و در انبار می کنند و می گویند فرمان چنین است و ما را نمی گذارند که یک من آرد بخریم. سلطان بفرمود تا خباز خاص را بیاورند و زیر پای پیل افکندند و چون بمرد بر دندان پیل ببستند و در شهر بگردانیدند و بر وی منادی می کردند که هر که در دکان باز نگشاید از نانوایان با او همین کنیم و انبارها خرج کردند. نماز شام بر در هر دکانی 50 من نان بمانده بود و کس نمی خرید.
The last, the fourth Hakayat of chapter number 6, Nizam-Ul-Mulk Siyasatnama, talks about the bakers of Ghazni. Once so happened that there was a shortage of bread and people were not finding bread anywhere. The poor were suffering and everybody was in distress. The condition of the country was in bad shape and they were not aware of what is happening. And people started and then complained to the Sultan Ibrahim who was ruling, and they said, what is this? We are not having any bread, and why are the supplies of this breads cut off? We don't know. And all the bakers from the city were called and they said, why is it happening in such a way? They said, every loaf of bread that is to be consumed is bought in the city, is taken by your own baker, and he confiscates everything and he keeps everything in the custody of his, because he is a person who has been nominated by you and he's a sultan's man. Thus the sultan got very angry. He called his private baker and he said, just throw him to the elephant's feet. Means he was crushed to death, and when he was dead, his body was shown to the paraded in the entire city, and people were made aware that anybody, howsoever close, he might be the sultan's personal bread supplier, but if he does wrong, he will be punished. And this is what will happen to anybody who does not open his shop to the poor, who does not sell at a reasonable rate. This will be the punishment they meted out. From the next evening itself, there were 50 modes of bread left in every shop, and enough for the entire community. What does this bring? This brings us to again the same essence, that when the measurement keepers, the people selected by the sultan, are of a good quality and of a good nature, and the wrongdoers are really punished badly, so that the society can have good people and a very nice administration. This finishes us our chapter number 6, and now very soon we will start with our chapter number 7. Thank you.